Our next reader is Christy James, and in addition to being one of the producers of this storytelling series, she's one of the directors for another storytelling series called Listen to Your Mother, which was founded by my friend Ann Megan. I always have to give Ann apologies because I keep calling it Word to Your Mother, and that's not what it's called. But they also have an anthology of great stories that we have here. And if you like parenting humor, we also have Jim Gaffigan, Dad is Fat, it's hysterical, and my friend Jerry Mahoney has a book called Mommy Man, How I Went From Mild-Mannered Geek to Gay Super Dad. And it is a wonderful sort of alternative how a family comes to be story, and I highly, highly recommend it. Christy will be making the national debut of her portrayal of Cherry right here at Parnassus Books. She loves being one of the co-producers at that time of the month. This is her second performance for the show, and she has also told part of her story of Listen to Your Mother. Christy will be reading Stay Gold.
Hi. His name was Pony Boy, and I was obsessed with him. At 13, everyone was talking about a book you had to read called The Outsiders. For those unfortunate enough not to be familiar, it is the story of a boy from the wrong side of the tracks whose parents have died. He now lives with his two older brothers, one a high school dropout, and the other a football star who gave it all up and became a blue-collar worker in order to keep his brothers together. In their community is a deep social division. Pony Boy's group is known as the Greasers, and the super rich kids are the Socias, short for the Socials. It was the old-fashioned white kid version of the Bloods and Crips, and they weren't supposed to cross into each other's territories without risk of being jumped and beaten up, all very dangerous and exciting. As I read the pages, my young heart daydreamed about what it would be like to live in that world, to be in a house without parents. Sure, yeah, tragic and all, but no parents. I have an older sister, and she was always into something fun. I imagined how cool we would be as all our friends would want to hang out at our house 24/7. Pony Boy's gang of friends include the usual mix of most groups, the cut-up, the hottie, the bad boy. Then there was Pony Boy's best friend, Johnny. Johnny was the damaged one. When his parents weren't beating him, they were ignoring him. Johnny was jumped by the Socias and badly beaten. Now a frightened puppy, the whole gang was very protective of him. The pivotal moment in the book is the street brawl between the Greasers and the Socias, where the pre-fight mantra included, "Do it for Johnny!" I will spare you the whole story, although I can fill you in if you want to meet me after. But there is a girl, of course there is a girl, and her name is Cherry. Of course that is her name. From the Soch crowd who befriends Pony Boy and Johnny to dire results. In my junior high imagination, I was Cherry. While not at all rich, I was drawn to the Greasers. In my school, they were called hoods. I would try to be all cool while I would stare at those boys all wide-eyed and naive. Although Greasers wore leather jackets and had their hair slicked back, hoods wore concert t-shirts and mullets. They would skip school and smoke cigarettes and stay out late. I longed to be in the middle of their cigarette passing circle. In the book, the Greasers always look out for each other, even if they weren't friends. If it looked like a Greaser was in trouble, they were immediately defended by one of their own. Naturally, when one of my friends, called preps instead of Socias, rolled their eyes at hood activity, I gave a weak attempt at taking up for the hood. I thought I could relay this act of solidarity by giving a head nod to the hood that was meant to say, "I got you, doing it for Johnny." Then it was their turn to roll their eyes. I finally got my chance to live out my outsider's fantasy when I was 16. I started dating a bad boy who was 21 and he even had a tattoo. I would lie to get out of the house to be with him, then stay out too late. He could do no wrong in my eyes. He fit the Greaser vibe to a T. He smoked, drank, had a switchblade, got into fights. He would steal things and use the money to take me out on dates. All the while, I was the perfect Cherry, As a good girl, I didn't drink, fight, or steal. I usually left my switchblade at home. I presented as a social in every way. In my mind, the fact that I could be in both worlds made me extra cool. But as bad boys do, he broke my heart, and I ended up back with my group just as Cherry headed back to the socials after she had her moment with the greasers. While I'd like to think that I have grown out of classifying people into rigid social lines, every once in a while, if I see a guy with long hair and a concert t-shirt, I may catch myself trying to be cool and aloof to send the vibe that I am one of them, just disguised as a suburban mom following my kid around as he plays Pokemon Go. Thank you.